And once again, good evening. I'm Brian Winnikins, and we are at Assumption School. And this evening we have Assumption and Eau Claire Regis with some basketball this evening. All right, so we're getting stuff ready to go here, and we'll be ready to go in just a moment and have things underway. And throughout the evening, we'll be thanking our sponsors as well, including the Cottage, downtown Durand, from floral arrangements to gifts for mom. It's the Cottage, downtown Durand. JK Auto Body and Rod Shop, Madison Street, Durand, featuring metal fabrication, custom painting, car restoration, and collision repair. It's the JK Auto Body and Rod Shop, Madison Street to Durand. And Durand Fresh Market, your hometown grocery store, Durand Fresh Market. All right, so we're ready to go. And Superintendent Matt Gillis, our lead referee here. All right. And Regis will get the ball to start. And so Regis to inbound it. Amia here is going to inbound it to Macy. He'll come across the timeline down to the wing, into that corner where we're blocked, into the left corner, and tries to drive in to the lane. Now we get a loose ball, still a loose ball, and it's reccovered by Elena Dorwin, who gets it back over to number 25. That's J.C. Bruner. And they go inside, shot put up and good. And it looks like that was number 31, Emma Pelkey. And whoops, everybody's running away, and it's like we need somebody to inbound the ball to. There we go. Macy will bring it up court. Comes across the timeline for Regis. And over to Chessie, and no good. And rebounded by Lucy Hoyt. Lucy Hoyt quickly back the other way, lays it up and underlays it, no good. And coming up with the loose ball. Oh, a travel. Yep. On Bruner. So it'll be Regis ball. All right, so Macy will bring it up court. And across the timeline. Down to the top of the key now. And nearly stolen, but coming up with his Chessie. She'll put up a shot, no good. Loose ball, still a loose ball. And coming up with it is number 45. That's Elena Dorwin, who passes it off to Hoyt. That's Lucy Hoyt. She'll come across the timeline. She's going to go right into the lane, lays it up, and no good. Rebounded by Dorwin, shot no good. And another loose ball, and it looks like it's rebounded by Assumption. They put up a shot and gets the shooter's roll. That's number 22, Lucy Hoyt. All right. So Macy will come across the timeline. And the ball is stolen. Stolen by Emma Pelkey. And back the other way we go. All the way down to the end. And now a shot put up by Pelkey. No good. Loose ball. And coming up with it is Amia. She'll come across the timeline quickly for Regis. And into the lane, number 11, Macy. She gets surrounded, but manages to get the ball handed off. Back to Chessie, and she puts up a shot, no good. And it was off of Assumption, and so it will stay Regis ball. Assumption leads 4-0. And a bounce pass. Okay, so the ball was bounced out of bounds, and so it'll go automatically back to Assumption on the inbound. So inbounded to Hoyt. And back to Gunderson. That's Chloe Gunderson. She comes across the timeline, goes around one defender, lays it up and in. And so Macy now will bring it back up court for Regis. And she'll come down inside, puts up a shot from the left baseline, no good. Rebounded by Emma Pelkey. He'll hand it off to Lucy Hoyt. And Lucy's across the timeline. Defender right there now, right away. And trying to reach in. And now pass, long cross-court pass, loose ball. And coming up with it, Eva comes up with it for Regis. Back to Amia now, across the timeline for Regis. She'll drive in, puts up the shot, whistle and a foul. She's going to go to the line for a couple of free throws. All right. All right, so Amia gets a chance to do a free throw. No good. Or Amaya, I'm sorry. All right. Get some changes here for both teams. Mary Bullard's come in. Looks like number 5, Sam Tulip, has come in too for Assumption. Emerson's in now for Regis as well. Lily in number 3 for Regis. And next free throw on the way. Oh, it gets the shooter's roll. Okay, so number 33 comes in now, Michelle for Regis. And inbounded to Lucy Hoyt. And she'll come across the timeline now. Looking for someone to pass to, and finds, looks like Millie Mack whistling a foul, and count it in the foul. But the shot is by Hoyt. Excuse me. Assumption leads 8-1. 10 minutes left here in the first half. And the free throw on the way. A little bit short. Gets her own rebound. Puts up a shot again. No good. This time rebounded by Regis. That's Michelle with the rebound. And across the timeline now comes Regis. And we get a whistle and a foul. Oh, ball went out of bounds. Okay. So there we go. Millie Mack now comes in. Looks like Emma Pelkey's come back in. All right. Nope. Okay. So Emma Pelkey's going to come out. Nope. Let's check that. Number 45, Elena Dorwin's going to come out. And inbounded to Regis in the left corner. On the left baseline now, that's number 34. Chessie has the ball, passes it back off to Michelle, who comes over to the top of the key for Regis. And loose ball tipped out of bounds. It'll be off of Assumption. Assumption leading 8-1 with 8:40 left here in the first half. And inbounded now to Regis on the left wing. Shot put up short, loose ball, and coming up with it is Sam Tulip. And she'll pass it off to Chloe Gunderson, who will bring it up court. And across the timeline now. Over cross-court pass now to Pelkey. Pelkey on the left wing. She's going to drive into the lane. Puts up the shot off the glass and good. And so it makes it 10-1 Assumption now. And inbounded to Katie. Katie will come across the timeline for Regis. She's at the top of the key, comes over to the right wing. She'll go into the lane, puts up the shot. Nice move. Went around a couple of defenders and laid it right up and in. Oh, everybody just abandoned Chloe here. And so Millie Mack comes back and says, oops, sorry about that. Back to Gunderson, who will bring it up across the timeline. To the top of the key now, moves to her left. She's going to try and split two defenders. Now inside pass, nice inside pass up and in. And that was to Sam Tulip. And so across the timeline, Katie for the Ramblers comes across to the top of the key. Down to the free throw line, tries to get around two defenders, and she'll go down to the baseline, puts it up and in. A nice move. Went around two defenders up into the left baseline and laid the ball right up and in. So Gunderson now back across the timeline for Assumption. Pass to Sam Tulip. She can't hang on, or check that number 31, Emma Pelkey. A little high and goes out of bounds. It'll go back to Regis. 12-5 Assumption leads, 6:48 left in the first half. All right, so now Katie will bring it up across the timeline here for the Ramblers. Katie comes around. She's going to try and get down to the baseline. She gets cut off there. She's got to pass it back out to the wing. Over to Amia. Amia will drive in, puts up a shot. No good. Fighting for the ball. It's going to be off of Regis, so it will be Assumption ball. Coming in, number 15, Kana Sabelko comes in. And so bringing it up court will be Chloe Gunderson. And Gunderson now, she'll go around one defender, tries to get inside, can't do it. Now kicks it back out to free throw from the free throw line, shot no good. Rebounded by Assumption, shot no good. Another rebound by Assumption, and that's Emma Pelkey with a couple of rebounds. She gets the putback and up and in. 14-5 now, Assumption. And across the timeline now comes Katie. Katie comes across the timeline over to the left wing. She'll drive inside, puts up the shot, whistle, and a foul. She'll go to the line for two. All right, so first free throw here by Katie. First free throw on the way is good. So coming in, Lucy Hoyt and number 25, J.C. Bruner come in. And no good. And rebounded by Assumption. And Sabelko with it. And across the timeline now comes Assumption. So Sabelko down to the left wing. And ball stolen. And we get a jump ball on the steal. So it'll stay Assumption ball. Coming in number 45 now, Elena Dorwin, and number 54, Chloe Gunderson. All right, so we're ready to go. Inbounded now to Lucy Hoyt. Hoyt across the timeline, down to the top of the key. She's going to try and drive into the lane. Can't do it. Bounce pass inside, stolen, but loose ball. Coming up with it is Hoyt. She puts up a shot. No good. Rebounded by Amaya, and she'll come back across the timeline. I love the mask that she's wearing. And inside shot now off the glass. No good. Rebounded by Hoyt. And quickly back the other way is Hoyt. She'll take it all the way. Gets the shooter's roll. Count it, and the foul. And so Lucy Hoyt now to try to complete the three-point play as Assumption leads 16-6. Michelle coming back in. I think Chessie is another one who just came back in for Regis. All right, try to complete the three-point play. And the free throw by Hoyt. It's good. So, inbounded now to Michelle, who'll bring it back up court for Regis. She comes across the timeline. Down to the left wing. Whoa! Nearly lost her footing. And loose ball. And they're going to call a jump ball. It'll stay Regis ball. So they're inbounding it to our left in that corner where we're blocked by the stage. And shot put up, no good. Rebounded by Assumption. Coming up with it is Lucy Hoyt. So she'll come across the timeline down to 1:39 left until halftime. Inside pass now over to Bullard. Bullard now will pass it in, and a shot put up by number 45, Elena Dorwin, and it's good. So across the timeline now is Macy. Macy comes to the top of the key. Now passes it off to Chessie, and she's in the left corner. Needs some help. They try to get it back out to the wing. And it's stolen. Stolen by Lucy Hoyt, back the other way. And Hoyt across the timeline, under a minute remaining. Loses the ball, but regains control. Pass inside to Dorwin. Dorwin into the lane, puts up the shot, no good. Gets her own rebound, puts up another shot, no good. And another shot put up, no good. Still another loose ball. And coming up with it is Assumption. And loose ball again, and Hoyt comes back up with it over to Dorwin. Dorwin, she'll drive in from the right wing, puts up the shot, count it, and the foul. So, shooting to make the three-point play, Elena Dorwin. It was her basket, or her shot that was good. And free throw on the way, no good, off the edge of the rim. Loose ball coming up with it, though, is Assumption. And across the timeline now to Chesney. And Chesney now will over and back. Nope, whistle to foul. So it'll stay a Regis ball with 19 seconds left in the first half. Assumption leading 21-6. Inbounded quickly to Mary. Mary now loses the ball. It's a jump ball. And so it'll be Assumption ball, and inbounded now to Hoyt. Hoyt across the timeline. Fakes right, goes left, drives into the lane, puts up the shot. It's good. Down to 4 seconds, and inbounded now to Eva. Eva will bring it across the timeline, and that's end of the first half, 23-6. Assumption leads, and we are at halftime. Thank you to Numbers R Us, Common Sense Bookkeeping and more, a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor, also your daily money manager. Give them a call at 672-8093 or visit them online at numbersrus.com. Duran Smokehouse, Highway 85 Duran, the hog sale going on right now at Duran Smokehouse. Visit them on Highway 85 Duran for more information. Riverside Grill, a Wisconsin country restaurant serving a real taste of Wisconsin. You can visit the Orton Room. You can also rent out the Orton Room as well at Riverside Grill for your events. 24/7 in West Wisconsin Telecom, building smart fiber optic communities from the ground up. Find out more. Visit wwt.coop. Also, O'Galley Cheese Factory, Highway 25 Durand. featuring beef sticks, bacon, brats, and more from J.M. Watkins of Plum City. And Martin Transport of Mondovi, celebrating their 75th anniversary this year. Visit martin.com for the latest job opportunities. It's better in blue at Martin Transport. Please thank all of our sponsors. They make these live streams, broadcasts possible on our YouTube channel at Durand Broadcasting, WRDN. We're at halftime, 23-6. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. And welcome back. We are ready to go for our second half. Again, with Assumption leading 23-6. All right, we're underway, and inbounded to Katie. She gets fouled right away. Oh, the foul is on Regis, so the ball will... Nope, the foul is on... Okay, foul's on Assumption, so it'll stay Regis ball. And inbounded and ball stolen. Oh, stepped on the line on the after stealing the ball, so it'll stay with Regis. And so now, Regis to inbound it. They get it inbounded to Amia. Amia now will come down to the wing. Hands it back off to Chessie, and Chesney now will hand it off to Amia. And comes back on the stays on the outside, loses control, but regains, picks the ball back up, hands it off to Chesney, and she goes down to the left corner. Comes back out to the wing and stolen. Ball stolen. This time by Dorwin. Dorwin lays it up and no good. And fighting for the ball, it'll be a jump ball. It'll stay Assumption ball. All right, so here we go. And Dorwin to inbound it, and tries to get inside, whistle a foul. So fouls on Regis, so we'll stay with Assumption. And Dorwin to inbound it right in front of us. Oh, she stepped on the line, and so trying to inbound it, and that means it goes back to Regis. So inbounded now to Katie. She'll come up across the timeline now, and pass into the corner, and the ball goes out of bounds, so it'll be coming back to Assumption. And Chloe Gunderson will bring it up across the timeline now. Comes into the lane, puts up this shot, no good. And loose ball, and comes up with it. Assumption comes up with it, whistling a foul. Foul will be on, looks like on Regis. It'll stay Assumption ball. Coming out is J.C. Bruner. Not sure who came in. They're going to inbound it to our right. And inbounded now to Pelkey. And over the top of the key now. That is Bullard. Bullard tries to drive inside, puts up a shot short, no good. Rebounded by Katie. Katie quickly back the other way. Lays it up and no good. And loose ball and rebounded by Emma Pelkey. They'll hand it off to Chloe Gunderson. And Gunderson now across the timeline. Over to Bullard. Bullard on the right wing. Now to Pelkey. Pelkey puts up a shot, no good. Rebounded by Dorwin. Dorwin puts up a shot, no good. And loose ball, still a loose ball. Coming up with it is a jump ball. Again, Assumption leads 23-6. And inbounded now to Macy. Macy will come across the timeline now. And over to Amia. Amia tries to drive inside, loose ball, but the Ramblers come up with it. And over to Macy now. Macy into the lane, puts up the shot, whistle and a foul. And so going to the line for two will be Macy after the foul. First free throw on the way is good. Host of changes now for the Royals. And next free throw on the way, short, no good. Loose ball coming up with it is Assumption. That was number 15, Kana Sabelko with the rebound. And across the timeline now is Hoyt. Hoyt over to Bullard. She'll drive inside from the right wing, puts up the shot, no good. Loose ball. And coming up with it is number 21, Eva, who'll pass it off to Amia. Quickly across the timeline, Amia puts up the shot, no good. Rebounded by Lucy Hoyt. And Hoyt across the timeline now. Look out. And nearly stolen, but Hoyt comes back up with it. Over to Millie Mack. Millie Mack at center court. Goes right, goes left, now tries to drive inside, loses the ball, but coming up with it is Sabelko. Sabelko tries to bounce it inside to Hoyt. Hoyt, turnaround jumper, shot no good. Rebounded by Mack, and she tries to put up a shot, whistle and a foul. And so Lucy Hoyt will inbound it in front of us. 9 minutes remaining. And inbounded quickly to Bullard. Bullard puts up the shot and in. Mary Bullard with a nice jump shot. Makes it 25-7 Royals. And inbounded now to Macy. And Macy across the timeline now. Macy inside now to Lily. Lily over to Amia. Amia now on the left baseline, has to pass it back out to Eva. Eva passes it to Macy, will go to the right baseline, puts up a shot, no good. Rebounded by Hoyt. Hoyt on the break. And underlays it, no good, but loose ball rebounded by Sabelko. Sabelko now back over to Bullard. And loose ball, that's going to be tipped out of bounds by the Ramblers, so it will stay Assumption ball. Royals lead 25-7. 7:55 remaining in the game. And inbounded now to Bullard. And we got to stop. So it was a travel, huh? Okay. So some changes for Regis now. And inbounded now to Katie. Katie across the timeline. Katie comes down to the right wing. She's going to drive in, puts up the shot, no good. Loose ball, and she comes up with the loose ball and will work it back out to the left wing. And she's going to go around the screen. Now she stops. He has to pass the ball back out. They retreat back out to the wing, now on the outside. And that is Chessie, and now she's on the right wing. Hands the ball off to Michelle. He'll work it back into the lane. Puts up a shot from the free throw line. Shot no good. Rebounded by Lucy Hoyt. And she'll come across the timeline for Assumption. Pass, loose ball, and Hoyt will come back up with it. Now, oh, nice pass inside to Bruner. Bruner lays it up, no good. And coming up with it is Katie. Katie for the Ramblers. And a whistle and timeout. Timeout Regis, as we thank the Goodrich Family Funeral Home, serving the Durand area for 5 generations and featuring monuments from Lifetime Memorials. Countryside Co-op, your certified Cenex Ruby Field Master distributor, is Countryside Co-op. SFB Security Financial Bank, where electronic banking is easy. 212 West Prospect Street, Durand. And Advent Health Durand. Time to feel whole with Advent Health Durand. Visit adventhealth.com for more information. Please thank our sponsors. They make these live streams possible on our YouTube channel at Durand Broadcasting, WRDN. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click the bell for future notifications. All of our live streams are archived at our YouTube channel as well. Again, at Durand Broadcasting, WRDN. 6:26 remaining, and Assumption leads 25-7. So it'll be Regis ball. And here we go. And Michelle to inbound it. She'll inbound it to Katie. Katie goes on the right baseline, puts up the shot, no good. And coming up with the rebound is Emerson. We'll pass it back out to Katie. Katie tries to go around one defender, loses control of the ball, and it goes out of bounds. It'll go back to Assumption. And we'll have a little extra time here as they forgot to wind the clock here. And now a shot put up, no good. And jump ball. It'll stay with Assumption. And inbounded now to Pelkey. Pelkey puts up the shot, up and in. And inbounded now to Katie. And over now to Chessie. Chessie drives in right baseline, puts up a shot, no good. Eva tracks down the loose ball and gets it over to Michelle. Michelle back to the left wing. Katie's wide open. Nice pass inside, puts it up and in. Katie was right underneath the basket, wide open, and they got the pass to her, up and in. 27-9 now. Assumption. Across the timeline comes Gunderson. Gunderson gets around one defender. Now kicks it back out to the wing to Sam Tulip. At the top of the key, and Tulip fighting for the ball, and they're going to call jump ball. It'll go to Regis. So it'll be inbounded to Katie here. And she'll bring it up court for Regis. Across the timeline now to Chessie, and she'll try to drive inside. She stops, puts up the shot from the baseline, no good. Rebounded by Eva. Jump ball, and it'll go back to Assumption. And so inbounding it now will be J.C. Bruner for the Royals, and she'll be inbounding it to Lucy Hoyt, who'll bring it up court. And Hoyt now will come across the timeline. Over to Bullard. Bullard gets around one defender. Check that, that's number 54. Gets the shooter's roll. That's Chloe Gunderson with the shot. Round and round it went. And so inbounded to Katie. 29-9 Royals. 3:42 left in the game. Pass inside to Emerson. Emerson now has the ball stolen though. And it's back to Hoyt now. Hoyt across the timeline. Over to Gunderson. Gunderson stops from the wing. Tries to pass it back up, but ball intercepted. Intercepted by Michelle. Michelle back the other way for Regis. Comes across the timeline, into the lane. Puts up the shot. It's good. 29-11 now. Assumption leads. 3:14 left in the game. And across the timeline comes Hoyt. And passes, intercepted. Intercepted by Katie. Katie tries to go drive inside, but nice defense by Hoyt to cut her off. Inside pass now to Chessie, or to Michelle rather. She'll retreat back out to the corner, and now loose ball. And it will be off of Assumption, and so it will stay Regis ball. So Hoyt comes out. Whoops, one too many. All right. Macy to inbound it to our right. And she inbounds it to Katie. Katie into the lane, puts up the shot, off the glass and good. 2 minutes remaining in the game. And inbounded now to Bruner. Bruner back to Dorwin. Dorwin will come across the timeline. And ball nearly stolen, knocked out of bounds. It will be knocked out of bounds by Macy, so it'll stay. Okay, and so, they're going to say it was off of Assumption, so it'll timeout, though, Assumption. And thank you to Sundstrom and Company, your local tax experts. It's tax time. Give them a call at 672-4425 to schedule your appointment. Shell's LP Gas and Appliance offering a full line of Whirlpool appliances along with installation and service downtown Durand. Prime Realty, Durand and Mondovi. Visit their website at primerealtymidwest.com. Prime Realty, they are the area's #1 home seller. Adams Super Service, your Napa Gold Car Care Center, Durand. Visit Adams Super Service. They offer loaner vehicles while they fix your vehicle. NTech, your premier communications and entertainment provider, Durand. And Endless Summer Fitness and Tanning. With around-the-clock fitness and tanning access downtown Durand, visit Endless Summer's Facebook page for daily, weekly, and monthly specials from Endless Summer Fitness and Tanning downtown Durand. Please thank all of our sponsors. They make our broadcast possible on our YouTube channel at, at Durand Broadcasting, WRDN. All right, we're ready to go. Last minute 47 of this game, and Assumption leading 29-13. It'll be Assumption ball. And it's inbounded to Hoyt. And Lucy will come across the timeline, into the lane. Stops, tries to get the ball back out. Stolen by Katie. Katie back the other way for Regis. Whoa, and a foul will be on Lucy Hoyt. So coming back in will be Pelkey and looks like Gunderson. And Mack and Bullard come out. And Superintendent Gillis has to tie his shoe. That's probably a good idea there, Matt. All right, ready to go. Inbounded, and it's going to be quickly inbounded to Amia. She's on the right baseline, into the lane. She gets cut off now. She has to pass it back out to Macy. Macy puts up a shot. Good! Nice shot by Macy. 29-15 now. Assumption leads. Minute 14 left in the game. Right across the timeline now. Passes it to a wide open Emma Pelkey, and from the right baseline puts the shot up and in. To Katie now. She'll come across the timeline for Regis. Pass to Michelle on the right baseline. Tries to drive in, can't do it. Now it's to pass it back out to Katie. Katie comes down to that right baseline. Hesitates now. Goes underneath the basket. Kicks it back out over to Lily. Lily at the free throw line needs some help. And hands it off to Amia. Goes around one defender, puts up the tough shot, does not get the shooter's roll. And rebounded by Emma Pelkey. Over to Hoyt. 30 seconds remaining. Hoyt across the timeline. Pass intercepted after it was tipped. Coming up with it is Macy. Macy back the other way. Over to Katie. Puts up the shot, no good. Another shot put up and in. 14 seconds remaining, 31-17, Assumption. And Lucy Hoyt across the timeline, and jump ball. And so it'll be a Regis ball for the last 1.4 seconds. More basketball here coming up with our next game in about 10-15 minutes or so. And three ball shot short, no good. Our final score of our first game tonight, 31-17. Stick around, we'll have more Assumption basketball here coming up. you. We appreciate everything you do. This is the last game? Home game it is. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. We got one more tonight. Yep. Yep. Greatly appreciate it. Well, as we're waiting, we have about 9 minutes yet until our next game, and then we'll be back. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, well, I'll probably give those to Rhonda. I haven't heard do that while I'm doing the game. Yeah, that was she just get everything. And when I get back, then I'll be ready to go. So, yeah. All right, thank you.
Third hour today.
All right, so before we start our next game, I just wanted to show everybody this from the girls. They had sent me that. Well, actually, not just the girls, but all of the players signed a very nice thank you card to me for doing all of this. And I just want to say thank you to all of the kids as well for that was very nice of them to do that. And again, I also want to, for those of you watching, a reminder, I say this a lot with our sponsors, but really without our sponsors, really none of this can happen. So all of the businesses that we've talked about over the year, and we'll have another game here coming up on Friday night, but all of the businesses that we've been talking about, please, if you want to send a thank you card or give them a call, drop them an email, better yet, stop at their place of business and tell them thank you for supporting these live streams and our broadcasts on the radio. That's they would appreciate it. I would appreciate it as well because it's without them, none of this happens. It's pretty much, that's just the reality. So please thank all of our sponsors, but thank you to the kids. That was very nice. And I even have a ticket for the fish dinner on Friday night at the Lima Fish Dinner. Boy, am I looking forward to that, too. Wonder if they'll let me bring that in here while I do the game on Friday. They may not want me eating in the gym. Well, I can make that work. We'll figure something out. All right, we are ready to go here. Our next game. All right, so we got Addie Oth in, looks like. Got Lizzie Wayne is in. Bella Oth is in. And number 32, that's Josie Melling is in. Well, that's number 13, Brielle Paschal in for the Royals. And Regis, they will get the ball to start. And it looks like Olivia's going to get the ball to get the inbound pass here. And we're underway. All right, so Olivia across the timeline, comes down to the right wing. Tries to drive inside on the left baseline, gets cut off. Pass intercepted. And it was intercepted by Lizzie Wayne. And she will hand it off to Bella Oth. Across the timeline now. And ball stolen. And that is Sasha with the steal. Stolen back the other way. And that's Paschal puts up the shot. No good. Rebounded by the Ramblers. But the rebound is Olivia. And quickly back the other way come the Ramblers. Across the timeline. Over to Maddie now. Maddie passes it back to Sasha. Now off to number 22. That's Elizabeth. Elizabeth passes it back off on the right wing to Adriana. And ball stolen. Stolen by Bella Oth. She'll go back the other way now for Assumption. Bounce pass now over to Paschal. Paschal now to number 20, and that is Lizzie Wayne. Tries to drive inside, can't do it, has to kick it back out. Shot on the way, oh, Bella Oth. Wow, that was from downtown. And it's 2-0 Assumption. So inbounded now to Olivia. Across the timeline come the Ramblers. Pass now on to the wing to Maddie. Maddie will lose the ball, and coming up with it is Bella Oth. She'll go back the other way across the timeline. Pass intercepted. Intercepted by Sasha. And then stolen back by Oth. Oth will go back the other way. Tries to pass it inside. Loose ball shot put up and goes on the opposite side of the backboard. As Addie Oth tried to put that shot up. And it goes back to Regis now. 2-0 Assumption leads. 14 minutes remaining in the game, or in the first half. Maddie now. Comes across the timeline. Comes into the lane, puts up the shot, short, no good. Loose ball, coming up with it is Adriana. Gets it back out to the wing to Maddie. Maddie on the right wing now. Ooh, nearly intercepted, but coming up with it is Sasha. She'll whistle in a foul. Fouls on Brielle Paschal, and so it'll stay Regis ball. And inbounded now to Olivia. Olivia over to Elizabeth. Back to Olivia at the top of the key. Now off to Sasha. Ball stolen. Stolen by Paschal. Quickly back the other way. That's Paschal now. Long cross-court pass over to Oth. Addie Oth now. Tries to get it inside. Intercepted. Intercepted by Olivia. Olivia on the break, but loses control of the ball. It is tipped out of bounds from behind, so it'll stay Regis ball. And inbounding it right in front of us, Adriana will inbound it. Izzy Lambert comes in. And number 50, Kira Lee, also comes in for Assumption. And inbounded, and shot put up, shot no good. Rebounded by Wayne. Wayne now to Oth. And Oth across the timeline. Oth goes around one defender, now passes it inside, and that is number 32, Melling, and we get a whistle and out of bounds. She was on the line, so it goes back to Regis. And across the timeline now comes Regis. Pass it inside now to number 7, that's Paige. Paige puts it up and in, we're tied. And so Bella Oth will bring it up across the timeline for Assumption. And she comes down to the right wing. Fakes right, goes left, into the lane. Pass inside to Lamb, whistle and a foul. Coming in, number 54, Chloe Gunderson comes in. And so Assumption to inbound it on the far side. And it inbounded to Lamb. Lamb has to kick it back out, though, to Oth. Off to Gunderson. Or to Lee, rather. Lee will put up the shot short, no good. Loose ball coming up with it is Lamb in the lane, puts up the shot, does not get the shooter's roll. Loose ball coming up with it is Oth. Oth puts up the shot, no good. And a jump ball. It'll stay Assumption ball. Bella Oth to inbound it on the far side. 10:26 remaining. Inbounded now to Gunderson. Gunderson on the right wing. Tries to drive inside, kicks it back out to Oth. Oth at the top of the key. Over to Lee. Lee now on the left wing. Lee over to Gunderson. Gunderson top of the key. She's going to drive into the lane. Then she gets cut off and has to pass it back out now. Shot put up, no good. That is by Melling. And another shot put up, no good. Melling gets a rebound. This time, Josie gets the shooter's roll. 4-2 Assumption. As Caitlin comes across the timeline for the Ramblers. Fakes right, goes left, comes into the lane. Oh, and nice forcing the jump by Bella Oth. It'll stay Regis ball. Host of changes now for Regis. Looks like coming back in, Addie Oth and Paschal also coming back in. And so inbounding it now is Paige. Paige now inbounds it to Sasha. Back to Maddie. Maddie puts up a long shot, no good. Nice rebound by Addie Oth. She'll pass it off to Paschal. Paschal now across the timeline. Over to Lee. Drives inside. Shot put up, no good. Rebounded by Olivia. Long cross-court pass now. Shot put up. Oh, does not get the shooter's roll. Lee with the rebound. Passes it back to Paschal. Paschal across the timeline for Assumption. Fakes right, goes left, into lost control of the ball. Loose ball, and it's going to be off of Regis. So it will stay Assumption ball. Coming back in is Lizzie Wayne. Lamb will come out. Paschal to inbound it to our right. As we have a flat tire here, also known as a shoe untied. Now we're ready to go. 4-2 Assumption leads, 8:17 left in the first half. Across the timeline is Wayne. Wayne now comes down to the top of the key. Lost the ball, nice steal by Adriana. She gets cut off, can't put up the shot. Now we get a long jumper shot, put up, no good. Rebounded by Wayne. Maddie put up the about 10-footer, nearly made it, just rimmed out. Across the timeline is Paschal. Paschal now works off the screen, goes around one defender, into the lane, stop, travel. So it'll go back to Regis. And inbounding it right now is Maddie. Maddie inbounds it to Olivia. Olivia across the timeline. Works off the screen, gets around one defender, now down to the left baseline, kicks it back out to the wing to Maddie. Maddie now at the top of the key. Comes over to the left wing. Pass inside now to Paige. Paige to Olivia. Olivia top of the key now. Pass stolen. Nice steal. Steal by Gunderson. And she intercepts it. Over to Paschal. Paschal goes around one defender, drives to the post, puts up the shot, no good. And rebounded by Wayne. She puts up a shot, no good. Another rebound by Wayne, puts it up again, up and in. Timeout, Regis, 6-2. Royals lead. Thank you to Bowers LP Gas and Appliance, featuring Frigidaire and Maytag appliances and featuring installation and service downtown Durant. The Jerry Thompson Insurance Agency, hometown agents representing you, not individual insurance companies. Jerry Bear and Sons, featuring dog and pet food from Nutrisource and Diamond, located by Annabis Silo, Highway 25 Durant. Riverland Energy, your Touchstone Energy partner. The Chen Fitzsmith Funeral Home, serving the Mondovi area. You can give them a call at 715-926-3630 or visit chenfit-smithfuneralhome.com. And Bowerville Tire and Service. For all of your tire needs, rotations, oil changes, it's Bowerville Tire and Service, Prospect Street, Durand, and Mall Drive, Eau Claire. Please thank our sponsors. Again, can't stress this enough. It's our sponsors who make our live streams on our YouTube channel possible at Durand Broadcasting, WRDN, and all of our high school sports coverage as well on the radio. So please thank them for their support of our broadcasts. 6-2, Assumption leads, 6:46 left here in the first half. We'll have more basketball for you on the live stream on our YouTube channel. Coming up Friday night, as Assumption will be facing Mondovi. Our coverage scheduled to begin at 5 o'clock Friday evening right here from Assumption High School. So, coming across the timeline now, Adriana. And she'll pass it off to Kaylin. Kaylin now back to Elizabeth into the left corner. And ball gets knocked out of bounds. It'll stay Regis ball. They'll inbound it to our left. Again, that's where we're blocked. They have the drum set is up for the band, all set up. So we got to keep the curtain closed somewhat so that doesn't get hit by a flying ball. Shot put up, no good. Rebounded by Wayne. Wayne will hand it off to Oth. Oth across the timeline now for Assumption. Oth passes it to Wayne. Wayne on the right wing. Head fakes, drives inside, puts up the shot, up and in. Nice move by Lizzie Wayne to drive in from that right wing. 8-2 now, Assumption. Across the timeline comes Adriana. Passes it off now, trapped in the lane, but gets the pass off. Shot put up, no good. Loose ball, and it will stay with Regis. Shot put up by Adriana, and it'll stay Regis ball. Inbounding it now is number 25, Adriana. So we have a pair of Adrianas off out there. Inbounded now to Elizabeth. Whistle and a foul. And going to the line for two is going to be Elizabeth. All right. First free throw on the way. Does not get the shooter's roll. Get some changes here. Coming back in, Lizzie Lamb comes in as Lizzie Wayne takes a seat. All right. Free throw on the way. Shot short, no good. Loose ball. And coming up with it is Adriana. And she'll pass it back over to Erin. Erin on the wing now. To the top of the key. Now on the wing. Back out towards the center court. Inside pass. Loose ball. It's another loose ball. Over to the wing now. Regis regains control. That's Erin. Erin now will try to pass it off. Loose ball. And coming up with it is Adriana. She passes it back over to Kaylin. Kaylin puts up the shot, up and in. And so now off to bring it up court for Assumption. Assumption leads 8-4. 4 minutes remaining. Ball nearly stolen. Lamb, though, comes back up with it. Comes down to the top of the key. Tries to drive inside. Can't do it. Has to kick it back out to Oth now at the top of the key. Over to Lee. Lee passes it back off. Shot put up, no good. Rebounded by Regis. And that's Erin with the rebound. And back the other way now. Erin now on the left baseline. Now back to the, oh, nice shot by Kaylin. Right in the lane. 2-point Assumption lead now. 8-6. And across the timeline comes Oth. 3:24 remaining in the half. Off tries to drive inside. Oop, gets cut off. Can't do it. Loose ball. And coming up with it, though, is Paschal. Paschal in the lane. Puts up the shot. No good. Rebounded by Assumption. That's Lee with the rebound. Back over to Paschal. Paschal right wing. Now to Oth. Oth from the wing. Shot put up. No good. Rebounded by Regis. And Kaylin now brings it back across the timeline for the Ramblers. She's going to drive into the lane. They collapse on her. She puts up the shot. No good. Rebounded by Lamb. Lamb over to Oth. Oth now will come up across the timeline for Assumption. 2:43 left in the half. Over to Lamb. Lamb loses her footing in the lane. Whistle and a jump ball. Host of changes for both teams now. It'll stay Assumption ball. See Josie Melling in now. Also Chloe Gunderson's in too. And inbounded quickly to Wayne. Wayne tries to get it back out to the wing, but it's thrown out of bounds. It'll go back to Regis. And so coming up across the timeline is Olivia for the Ramblers. Under 2 minutes remaining. 2-point Assumption lead. Head fake trying to drive inside, loses control of the ball, but coming up with it is Paige. And another near steal. Regis comes back up with it again. And over to Olivia trying to drive into the lane, loses the ball, knocked away by Oth. Oth on the break and up and in. Bella Oth with a nice steal and a timeout. Timeout, Regis, 10-6, Assumption leads. Thank you to the Cottage. From floral arrangements to gifts for mom, visit the Cottage, downtown Durand. You know, Mother's Day not that far off. The JK Auto Body and Rod Shop, Madison Street, Durand, featuring metal fabrication, custom painting, car restoration, and collision repair. JK Auto Body and Rod Shop, Durand. Durand Fresh Market, your hometown grocery store. Durand Fresh Market. Numbers R Us, Common Sense Bookkeeping, also daily money management and more. They're a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor. Call 672-8093 or visit them online at numbersrus.com. You can also visit them on Facebook. Durand Smokehouse, Highway 85 Durand. The hog sale going on right now at Durand Smokehouse. Riverside Grill, a Wisconsin country restaurant serving a real taste of Wisconsin. Don't forget, you can always reserve the Orton Room for events, maybe that family event, especially for Easter coming up. 24/7 and West Wisconsin Telcom, building smart fiber optic communities from the ground up. Find out more, visit wwt.coop. Galley Cheese Factory, now available from O'Galley Cheese Factory. Ooh, the fresh, homemade, squeaky, fresh cheese curds from O'Galley Cheese Factory. And Martin Transport of Mondovi, celebrating their 75th anniversary this year. Visit martin.com for the latest job opportunities. It's better in blue at Martin Transport. Please thank our sponsors. They're the ones that make all this possible. So please thank them for their support of our broadcasts. As Maddie now puts up the shot, no good. Loose ball, coming up with it is Oth. Oth tried to keep control, but had the ball go out of bounds. It'll be Regis ball now. Minute 13 left in the half. 10-6 Assumption leads. And inbounded now to Olivia. Olivia across the timeline on the right wing. Olivia inside pass now to Paige. Paige, though, has the ball stolen. Stolen by Melling. Melling now will pass it off to Oth. Oth across the timeline for Assumption. Inside pass attempted for Wayne, but she can't hang on to it just a bit too high. And it'll go back to Regis. Maddie will bring it up court for the Ramblers. Comes across the timeline now. Pass over to Kalen. Kalen. Pass is going to be nearly stolen, but foul on Lamb. 49 seconds remaining here in the half. 10-6 Assumption. Six now. Assumption. And Olivia across the timeline. Looks like the Royals in a type of a zone here. Over to Maddie. And back to Olivia. Olivia now on the outside. Top of the key. Tries to drive in. Whistle and a foul. And an offensive foul they're going to call. So good job by Lamb to draw the offensive foul. And inbounded to Wayne with 13. Now Oth will bring it up across the timeline. Off inside pass knocked away. Lamb, though, comes back up with it in the corner. Tries to drive inside, puts up the shot. That's the half. We're at halftime. It's 12-6. Assumption leads at half. We'll be back in just a bit. All right, we're ready to go for the second half. And Regis will get the ball to start this second half. Inbounded to Adriana. Comes down to the wing or into the corner now. Ball nearly intercepted. Kaylin, though, drives inside, puts up the shot. No good. And rebounded by Oth. That's Addie Oth, and Bella Oth now brings it across the timeline for Assumption. Top of the key now. Trying to drive inside is Paschal. Paschal has kicked the ball out. Shot. Wow, what a shot by Bella Oth from the left corner. 14-6, Assumption. And coming up across the timeline now is Adriana. Into the right corner for Regis. Pass inside now to Paige. Paige kicks it back out to the top of the key now. And back to Adriana. Adriana on the right wing to Aaron. Aaron now passes it to Kaylin. Kaylin top of the key. Over to Adriana, number 2. And shot put up, no good. It'll go out of bounds. And it will go back to Assumption. And so Bella Oth now will bring it up across the timeline for the Royals, leading 14-6. Comes down to the right wing over to Addie Oth. Addie Oth passes it inside now to Wayne. Whistle and a foul. Foul will be on Regis. It'll stay Assumption ball. And Bella Oth now to inbound it to our left. And Oth looking and gets it knocked out of bounds on the inbound. So we'll try it again. And Oth to inbound it again. And knocked out of bounds again on the inbound to our left. And try to get cross-court pass. Now into the corner, goes out of bounds. And it will go back to Regis. 14-6, Assumption leads. And inbounded now to Adriana. We'll bring it across the timeline into the left corner now. And pass out to Kaylin. Drives inside, loses the ball. Loose ball in the lane. Jump ball, and it will go back to Assumption. Looks like Lamb coming in now for Melling. So, all right, we're ready to go. Inbounded to Chloe Gunderson, back to Bella Oth, and Oth will bring it up across the timeline for the Royals. 12:40 left in the game here, and Oth nearly lost the ball, but regains control. Long cross-court pass to Gunderson. Gunderson goes around one defender, tries to drive, put it inside, and she gives it off to Lamb. Lamb puts up a shot, no good. Rebounded by Regis. Back the other way, that's Olivia across the timeline. Nope, she traveled. Tried to put on the brakes and just didn't work out right. Yeah. Tried to stop and just that one little bit extra movement there. So inbounded now to Oth, and Oth will come across the timeline for Assumption. Inside to Lamb. Lamb into the lane. Going to be Regis ball. I think that was a travel. So inbounded to Olivia. And she'll bring it up across the timeline for the Ramblers. And a loose ball and a jump ball. It'll stay Regis ball. Gunderson fighting for that loose ball. So inbounding it now for Eau Claire Regis will be Elizabeth. Inbound that to our left. Like her shoes are like powder blue. It's Pan Am blue on those shoes there, it looks like. That's what that blue looks like. at least to me. Over to Olivia now as we get back to the game instead of talking about shoes. Olivia drives into the lane, puts up the shot up and in. And 14-8 now. Assumption, long pass into the corner now. That's Gunderson, drives the left baseline, puts up the shot, does not get the shooter's roll, and it'll be a nice attempt by number 22 for Regis, Elizabeth, to get that rebound, but she was out of bounds, so it'll stay Assumption ball, and now off to inbound it. Inbounds it now to Lee. Lee puts up the shot. Oh, does not get the shooter's roll. It'll be off of the Regis, so it'll stay off. It'll stay Assumption ball now. Off to inbound it. Inbounds it to Lee. Lee on the left wing. Back to Oth. Oth now to Gunderson. Gunderson tries to drive inside. Gets it inside to Lamb. Lamb puts up the shot. No good. Loose ball. Gunderson comes up with that loose ball. Jump ball. It'll stay Assumption ball. Briella Paschal has pink shoes wearing. Oh boy, those pink shoes are pretty bright too. Inbounded quickly to Lee. Lee puts up the shot. Good! Kira Lee with a nice jump shot. And it makes it 16-8 now, Assumption. And across the timeline now comes Maddie. Maddie puts up the shot. No good. It'll go out of bounds. It'll go back to Assumption. So it'll be Assumption ball. Inbounding it will be Paschal. And Paschal will bring it up across the timeline. Paschal, she'll go into the lane. Then she has to kick it back out to Wayne. Wayne now over to Eddie Oth. Eddie Oth on the left wing. Inside to Wayne. Can't hang on to it. It goes out of bounds. They'll say it's off of Wayne, and it'll go back to Regis. 16-8. Assumption leads. 8:55 remaining in the game. As Kalen now brings it up across the timeline. And shot put up and good! Wow, by Maddie. Nice jump shot there. 16-10. Assumption. As Paschal now will come across the timeline. And she'll go into the lane. Now she gets it over into the left corner to Oth. Oth bounce pass out to the wing, knocked away, but she comes up with the loose ball. Stuck in the corner and a lot of trouble. And over to Paschal now. She tries to drive inside, can't do it. It's back over to the corner. Whistle timeout, Assumption with 8:16 remaining in the game, and Assumption leading 16-10. Thank you to the Goodrich Funeral Home of Durand, your authorized location for monuments from Lifetime Memorials. Call Goodrich Funeral Home of Durand for more information. Countryside Co-op. Find out about the Cenex Total Protection Plan warranty for your farm equipment today from Countryside Co-op. SFB, Security Financial Bank. Secure your future with your community bank. Security Financial Bank, West Prospect Street, Durand. And Advent Health, Durand. It's time to feel whole with Advent Health of Durand. Visit adventhealth.com for more information. Please thank all of our sponsors. They make these live streams possible here on WRDN, on our YouTube channel at Durand Broadcasting, WRDN. As we get ready for the spring sports season, for the high school sports season, at least for Durand. Some of the things we're going to try to do, we'll try to do some baseball and softball like we've done in the past. That is always a challenge, to say the least, because most facilities do not have press box facilities. No power, nothing like that. And so it can be really difficult, but we're going to try and do that. We're even going to try and maybe do some track on our live stream on the YouTube channel as well. And coming up this spring. And the warm weather, even though today was warm, can't come quick enough. Wayne drives inside, whistling a foul. So Wayne to shoot two. Yes, even though today felt like you could wear shorts and T-shirts, I can't wait until sunshine and 75. Actually, sunshine and 105 I like. First free throw on the way, no good. So Wayne with her next free throw. On the way, off the back of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Regis. Kaylin with the rebound on the nice box out. And over to Maddie. Maddie now back to Adriana. Adriana on the right wing. Inside pass to Kayla. Kaylin now has the ball stolen. Stolen by Paschal. Paschal back across the timeline for Assumption. She'll drive inside. Puts up the shot. Off the back of the rim. No good. Kaylin with the rebound. And across the timeline. Nearly stolen again. Back over to Adriana. Adriana on the wing. Now to Kaylin. Kaylin drives inside. Puts up the shot. No good. Rebounded by Regis. And that time it falls in. That's Adriana. Number 35 with that basket. 16-12. Assumption. Back across the timeline. Now comes Paschal. Paschal bounce pass now over to Adioth. And the ball's going to travel on Paschal. So it'll go back to Regis. 6:17 remaining, 4-point Assumption lead. As Elizabeth now to inbound it on our left. Inbounds it now to Olivia. Olivia across the timeline. Back to Paige. Paige, inside pass intercepted. Intercepted by, looks like that was Lee with the interception. Across the timeline now over to Wayne. Wayne inside pass now to Oth. Oth turnaround jumper up and in. Bella Oth with a nice turnaround jumper. 18-12. Assumption. And Olivia now will bring it across the timeline for Regis. She's going to try and drive inside. Loses the ball as it's knocked away. Coming up with it is Oth. And Oth will bring it across the timeline for Assumption. Into the lane. Bounce pass now to Wayne. Wayne, right wing, or left wing. Foul will be on Regis. So it'll stay. Assumption ball. They'll inbound it now to our left. As Bella Oth to inbound it. And Gunderson comes in for Melling. All right, 4:53 left in the game. Assumption up by 6. Inbound pass to Lamb. Lamb's shot's partially blocked. Loose ball. Assumption comes back up with it. That's Gunderson whistling a foul. All right, so Assumption to inbound it again. Inbound it to Gunderson. Gunderson now back to Oth. Off the pass looking for Wayne inside. Intercepted by Paige. And back the other way. Across the timeline comes Paige. Over to Olivia. Olivia tries to drive inside. Whistle and a kick. Will stay Regis ball. Down to 4 minutes left in the game. And inbounding it now is Sasha. Sasha to inbound it. Inbounds it now to Olivia. Olivia has the ball stolen by Oth. Nope, check that. That was Lamb with the steal. And across the timeline to Gunderson. Gunderson into the right wing. Now over to Wayne. Wayne head fakes the pass, then drives inside. Puts up the shot. No good. Loose ball, and Gunderson comes up with it. Back to Oth. Oth to Wayne. Wayne in the left corner. Now shot put up, and no good. And fighting for it in the lane. And looks like we get a jump. It'll go back to Regis. And so inbounding it will be Kaylin. And inbounds it now to Adriana. And across the timeline. Down to the wing. Back to Olivia. Olivia tries to drive inside. Puts up the shot at the free throw line. No good. Loose ball coming up with it is Lee. Lee back to Oth. And now over to Gunderson. Gunderson down to the left wing. Gunderson out to Wayne, loose ball, and coming up with it and whistling a foul. It'll be a foul on Regis. It'll stay Assumption ball. And loose ball, but Lamb comes up with it, count it, and the foul. So Lamb to try to complete the three-point play. And free throw on the way, no good. And rebounded by Regis. That's Maddie with the rebound. Under 2 minutes remaining. Whistle and a foul. 20-12. Assumption leads. Minute 55 remaining. It'll stay Regis ball. The foul was on Assumption. Inbounded to Olivia. Olivia now to Maddie. Maddie from the top of the key from downtown. Wow, nice shot by Maddie, and it's 20-14 now, Assumption. As Oth now across the timeline. Fakes right, goes left, gets trapped, and whistle and a foul. Nope, whistle and a travel. And so it will be Regis ball. And inbounded now to Kalen. Kalen across the timeline, into the lane, puts up the shot, no good. Loose ball, out of bounds. It will go back to the Royals. And off now to bring it up court. Over to Wayne. Wayne on the wing. Now over to Adioff. To Gunderson. Nope, check that. That's Paschal. Paschal bounce pass now to Wayne. Wayne, top of the key, looking for someone inside, no one there. Now to Oth. Oth, stop, shot, no good. Off the back of the rim. It'll go back to Regis. 52 seconds remaining in the game, and Assumption leads by 6. Inbounded now by Maddie. Across the timeline. Maddie at the top of the key. Puts up the shot, no good. It'll go out of bounds. It'll be Assumption ball. And inbounded to Wayne. And Wayne back to Oth, and Oth will bring it up court. On to our last 30 seconds. And a loose ball, and it will go out of bounds back to Regis. So, inbounded to Kalen. And across the timeline now. Back to Maddie. Maddie, inside pass to Adriana. Adriana puts up the turnaround jumper. Shot no good. Loose ball and rebounded by Assumption. I think that was Oth with the rebound. She passes it off to Bella Oth. 6 seconds remaining. Across the timeline is Bella. Bella traveled. And so we'll have our last inbound pass, and then that'll wrap things up tonight as Assumption going to win this game by a score of 20-14. Again, our next live stream actually is tomorrow night, as we have Durant City Council meeting. That'll be tomorrow night at 6:30 on the live stream, and then our next basketball broadcast will be on Friday night. Assumption taking on Mondovi in 8th grade basketball. Well, final score 20-14. Hope you enjoyed the live streams tonight. And again, thank you to all of our sponsors. Thanks to the kids as well for the very nice thank you card as well. I'm Brian Winnikins. Have a great evening.